And then keep it going. A big round of applause for Laura Robbins. Laura Robbins. Come on, Laura Robbins. There we go.
Hi. So it was a Tuesday night in February 1989. I'm 24 years old, and my girlfriends Kelly, Carla, and I are standing outside the door of the legendary Comedy Store on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. Not the main door, but the side one. You know, the one the comedians use to get in and out? And this was 30 years ago, but I can tell you that we had dressed to get over, like barely there mini dresses, high heels, booty shorts, you get the picture. So Carla had a cousin named Oscar who was like the conductor of the Underground Railroad for groupies. So follow me here. Oscar had hooked us up with Pookie, who worked at the Comedy Store office on Wednesdays. And Pookie hooked us up with Kevin, who worked security there on Tuesday nights. And Kevin had told us to wait outside this door and that he would come and get us. And all of this is because we had heard that Eddy Murphy was performing on their main stage that night. And we had to see him, but we needed the hookup because, as usual, we were all broke. So I know you know who Eddy Murphy is, but I don't know if you can quite comprehend how big of a star this brother was in 1989. Beverly Hills Cop had just come out and destroyed all the box office records, and Coming to America was right on its heels. His Raw tour was selling out stadiums across the nation, and his comedy albums were at the top of every chart. Eddy Murphy was the crown prince of comedy, and we had to see him live in person. So Kevin finally lets us in, and he gives us each a yellow wristband. Now, my heart drops a little when I see this wristband because everyone knows that yellow wristbands do not get you into the main room. And he must have seen the look on my face because he's like, look, don't worry. Eddy always has a bunch of folks with him. I'm going to slide you guys in behind him and his crew when they get here. Now, Kelly and Carla seemed absolutely fine with this plan, but I'm like the square one of this crew, so I'm straight up panicking. I mean, I was fine with him sliding us in the side door since we were broke and all, but now he's talking about us going in behind Eddy Murphy and his crew. Sliding us in? I've never slid in before. I don't even know if I'm the slide-in type. So now my stomach's in knots because I know this night is about to go completely off the rails. So Kevin comes back and he's like, okay, let's go, they're here. And he's right, Eddy has a bunch of people with him, and one of them is his best friend, late-night TV show host, and Coming to America co-star, Arsenio Hall. Woo, holy crap. So their plan's working, they're all going in, and we're strolling right in behind them. And I noticed that Arsenio is posted up right inside the door, and he's talking to some guy with an earpiece. And as I get close to him, I give him my best, most charming smile. And I'm close enough to Arsenio to smell his Pierre Cardin cologne. And I'm so freaking happy because we made it. We're in. No, says Arsenio. These ones, they're not with us. Ones. And then everything slows down as the guard picks up my arm and checks out my yellow wristband. Oh, sorry, ladies, these are good for upstairs only, but I hear Brett Butler might be doing a setup in the belly room. Brett Butler, Arsenio says. I'll never forget the sound of that laugh. And then he looks the three of us up and down before winking at me and saying, enjoy the show. So back out in the hallway, Kelly, Carla, and I are completely humiliated. And Carla's like, to hell with Arsenio. I never liked his ass anyway. And I'm like, yeah, and what kind of punk bitch move was that? And Kelly's like, hey, maybe he's afraid of the competition. We'd all heard the rumors at that point. Things that make you say, Just then there's this huge commotion outside, like people are being eaten alive or crushed to death or both. Kelly, Carla, and I all grab hands and flatten ourselves up against the hallway wall like, what the hell was that? Suddenly the outside door slams open and we can hear the crowd outside saying something over and over, but it's really hard to make out what it is, like Richan or Preacher. It isn't until I see his face that I realize what they're chanting is Richard. Now, if Eddy Murphy was the crown prince of comedy, then Richard Pryor was the king. Richard's wearing a red overcoat over a custom-tailored silk suit. He's walking into the main room. He's gonna walk right by us. Oh my God. Just then I feel Kelly let go of my hand, and I watch in amazement as she steps right out in front of Richard Pryor, right before he gets to those main room doors. "Hey, Richard," she says this like they're old friends. "Can we come in with you?" Richard looks over at Carla and I, and his stare is like a laser beam, scanning up and down our bare legs, taking in my mini dress and Carla's booty shorts. "Let's go," he says. Moments later, the three of us walk through those main room doors on either side of Richard motherfucking Pryor. Hell yeah. As soon as we walk in, folks start moving people off the front row seats to make room for Richard and his party, which now includes us. I notice that Arsenio is seated right in front of the stage, and I watch as he unwittingly agrees to move off the very table where I'm about to be seated. Richard's bodyguard is pulling out a chair for me, but I'm sure as hell not gonna sit down, not until I know for certain that Arsenio sees me. Finally, he looks up from his new table, 2 rows back, and makes eye contact with me, at which point I give him my best, most charming smile again, and mouth the words, "Enjoy the show, bitch."